Has it ever occurred to you that you want to be or read the sciences, and just why you think you want to be a part of it will be the question somebody will ask you. Good morning and welcome to this special interview right here on Lux FM, and today our focus is on science, technology, and that's Innovation Day, and the day will be launched here in Liberia tomorrow. But what is it all about, and what can it offer? This economy is what we've come to find out this morning. The Dean of the Science College here at the University of Liberia is in studio, and now we have a special guest. Also outside of from outside of Liberia, he's come to be a part of this great event tomorrow. My name is Alfonso George, and when we come back, I'll tell you exactly who are those in studio this morning. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Like I said, our attention is on Science, Technology, and Innovation Day. The day is going to be launched in Liberia on tomorrow. What are the activities planned so far to befit the day? That's one of the questions we want to find out this morning. Good morning, Dr. Topor.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Very fine.
And also have in studio Dr. Nicholas Ozor. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you this morning?
Very fine.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Topor, you are the host. Tell us a little about this Science, Technology, and Innovation Day to be launched in Liberia on tomorrow.
Well, as you know, the TJR Faulkner College of Science and Technology is mandated to produce scientists, to in the Liberian market, and as such, it is important to come and celebrate or have this day celebrated, because this college was a spin-off from the College of Liberal Arts on June 1st, 1974. So we don't want to forget this day, but to also celebrate it and let our students know that this day still exists, and let the nation know that science is very important for national growth and development. And so this is the reason why we want to create the necessary awareness. And creating this awareness of STI, we decided to invite all hands in the business that have been doing this all over Africa, the ATPS, which is the African Technology Policy Study Network, to come and be with us and tell us the importance of science, technology, and innovation. And this is the reason why we invited Dr. Ozor.
Okay, and Dr. Ozor, again, let me say welcome to Liberia, and just tell us your message. What have you brought?
Thank you, producer. I have brought the message of science, technology, and innovation. I have brought a message to tell the Liberians that if we want to leapfrog development in the current global financial crisis, and in the current environmental challenges, and in the current hardships that countries face, we have to embrace science, technology, and innovation as the only way forward to realize development, to achieve development, to achieve global targets like the Millennium Development Goals, which countries have set for themselves since the year 2000.
Okay, and you listening to us by way of radio, you may just want to have some clarity on some things that might just be confusing you or whatever. You have the opportunity to call us on 0777 106 106, 0777 106 106, 0886 417-932 are the numbers you can call this morning to be a part of our discussion. We are looking at Science, Technology and Innovation Day and how it all came about and what can it offer you as a country. Now, Dr. Topor, let me come to you. I will go back to Dr. Ozor, but let me just know from you. You are responsible to train people in the area of science in our country. Just tell us some of the activities there, and maybe you want to also say, tell the people at this time that you've got the material. Like you said, you train scientists. So do you already have the materials to train them?
Well, the College of Science and Technology is no different from any institution in Liberia. Like, we just coming from the war. It may not be 100% better, but as Dr. Dennis usually say, the glass is halfway filled. So to tell you, say we have all the materials to train scientists, I won't all rightly say yes, but we are doing our best. One thing we can say is that it's better than before within our 8 departments within the college. We have the Department of Biology, Chemistry, Physics, and Math in the Division of Natural Sciences. In the Division of Engineering, we have the Departments of Electrical Engineering, Civil Engineering, and Mining Engineering, as well as Geology. Now, while it is true that we don't have 100% all the material required to train scientists, the fact that most people now are seeing the need of science is we should have hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but this light can never shine with all the necessary support. So we want to create the necessary awareness that with all science, there can be no development. So we want the policy makers to support science, technology, and innovation. This is the whole reason why we're trying to create this awareness.
Okay. Now, Dr. Ozor, you have been in the business for quite a while now. And just tell us some of your encounters across Africa, especially this part of Africa you come now with a very poor background in the science areas. And what have been some of your challenges, and how do you think you can work on them?
The issue of science, technology, and innovation is an issue that all countries must embrace if they want to develop. The African Technology Policy Studies Network, ATPS, has taken this challenge upon themselves as an institution that promotes science, technology, and innovation, generation of knowledge, dissemination of knowledge, and application and use of this knowledge so as to ensure development, so as to ensure environmental sustainability, and ensure global inclusion. The ATPS is present in 29 countries of Africa, including diasporan chapters in the UK and the United States of America. And Liberia happened to be one of our focal point countries where we have an established chapter under the leadership of Wollor Topor. And having identified STI lag in this country, we are here to support the promotion of STI through all stakeholder involvement. My little experience about Liberia in recent years has, and the little read I have done about Liberia shows that there are more to be done from the grassroots level to the highest level. And because we are a multidisciplinary network of policymakers, researchers, private sector actors, and civil society, we want to engage all these stakeholder actors to work together to do this, especially the policymakers. Because in our normal balance, we say that policy is superior to science. It is policymakers who are decision makers. They are the people to say we want to achieve the 1% investment in research and development, GDP, from the GDP of the country. They are the people that we make laws and say we want to invest the 10% of the budgetary allocation to agriculture, and then they see to implementing it. So these policymakers are our first point of contact. They are our targets, T1 delegates, who we want to embrace science and technology in Liberia and make policies and implement policies. It's not about making policies. I'm very sure that if you read through the laws of this country, at least you can see some policies that are made. But are they implemented? That is another question. It is not meant for the paper to implement itself. It is human beings to implement these laws and policies. So let us implement the ones already existing. Again, if there are ones that are not there, like I am very sure that Liberia does not have a science, technology, and innovation policy, a science policy. How can you develop?
Okay. So, Dr. Topor, I'm sure you you wouldn't be the one to speak for government, but you are in that area. Do you have one?
Well, from a little search, I've never come across any policy. In fact, there's no specific institution that is responsible for STI.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to find out, they'll say education. But education is just there to bring about, to provide the basic knowledge.
You mean the ministry?
The Ministry of Education. So there's, to answer your question straightforward, there's no institution from a little search, no institution responsible for STI in Liberia.
That could be very dangerous, perhaps, for our country. All right, call us on 0777 106 106 0777 106 106 0886 417 932 0886 417 932. We are discussing Science, Technology, and Innovation Day to be launched in Liberia on tomorrow. And in case you have an interest, you can just call us on 0777 106 106. We also crisscrossing, looking at activities of the Science College. The Dean of Science College here at the University of Liberia, Dr. Wollor Topor, is also here in studio, and we have a senior researcher of that's ATPS head office in Nairobi, Kenya. He's also here, Dr. Nicholas Ozor, and is here. He's going to, in fact, launch the program tomorrow. So call us on 0777 106 106. And where is it going to take place, Dr. Topor, tomorrow?
Yeah, the activities are divided between Fender and the main campus.
Okay.
The indoor program will be at the main campus, the university auditorium, and the other activity will be at the Fender campus. On the main campus, we're trying to engage policymakers, whereas the students will be having their phone and everything and distributing some innovation, some research they have done. And then on the 23rd will be a march between the colleges, the different departments within the college.
Okay. 23rd is going to be March. Okay, we're just being joined by a policymaker. He's Honorable Richmond Anderson, and this time the representative is not relevant to our discussion. But I want to say good morning and welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here to join my colleagues.
Okay. Well, though I know you're not from the science area, but like I said, you are a policymaker. We're discussing science, technology, and innovation. And I just learned that there isn't any policy, towards that area for Liberia.
Well, it's a new phenomenon actually in Liberia. You know, I may say this to you, though I'm not a science student, but I had passion for science. In fact, I did electronics in my high school sojourn, and I wanted to become an engineer, a scientist, but unfortunately, I found myself where I am today. But there's no policy on the books for this initiative. And we are very appreciative to see a researcher, along with Dean Topor, who are striving to have this innovative established in Liberia. I think we're going to give it the support and make sure that we improve the science atmosphere in Liberia.
Okay, and I'm sure you're going to lobby with your colleagues as well to have some policy on the books for.
Well, definitely. I mean, this is what, in fact, when I was told about this program, I decided to come here this morning. I'm late, but I'm here, and whosoever been monitoring would now begin, though it might be abstract. You know, they might not actually understand the trend because it is not their area, it's not their field. So to say, well, to have ATI. STI in Liberia, it might sound very strange, but however, we are in academia also. We will make sure that they get to understand what this whole drive is all about.
Okay, back to you, Dr. Topor. Though you're not from the government cycle, you're also in the science area. You serve as Dean of Science College here at the University of Liberia. I just want you to tell us a little and the status of science, technology, and innovation in Liberia, if you have the information. Even though you're going to be celebrating the day, you've planned a lot of activities. Where are we now with this celebration, and then you coming to launch another aspect of it?
I mean, in terms of science, technology, and innovation?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the right question you asked. But nothing, policy drives activities. Our first step here is to bring the policymakers on board, and this is what we are doing now to have our appointment, Honorable Anisi, because we have to craft the policy to get this whole concept going. As we leave from here, the guests will be meeting with the Minister of Education by 12 o'clock to discuss this issue. We'll also be meeting with Dr. Topor, as you know, who is chairman for Vision 2030. We want to see how STR can be part of this 2030 vision, because if you look at the theme of the whole STR Day, they say it reads the critical role of science, technology, and innovation in national growth and development. So STR is very, very important to our growth.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Ozor. I know you want to make some comments, but let me just ask you this question. You've come to a country to be a part of an initiative that has no policy. Just tell me how you're going to do your work.
Thank you, producer. I can tell you it's not going to be an easy task, but with stakeholder support, especially from the policymakers and researchers and the civil society, the media, the journalists, the newspaper people who will also be helping to promote and create this awareness. The private sector actors, I can tell you that when we work in unison, we are going to achieve that because other countries did. They did exactly that. No country was born with science, technology, and innovation policy. There was a process, and that process was followed, and we have to understudy other countries like South Africa, like Nigeria, that already have this policy in place, and then know how they achieved the development and imitate them. But coming to, there was a question you asked, and it is good to bring this to bear. The issue of the state of STI in Liberia. It is very good for people to know that when the 54 countries in Africa line up and we begin to measure the indicators of science, technology, and innovation, it will be very pathetic to see that Liberia will be at the back seat. The reason is because they have not followed the normal process. They have not integrated the things they need to do for STI to be promoted, starting from policy. And I'm happy Honorable Richmond is here, and he has promised to take this forward in the parliament, and we are happy to see this happen in the next few years. Let us just quickly, the indicators, the major indicators of STI are inventions, investment in STI, publications. I give you an example. Between 2000, the year 2000 and 2010, Liberia has not been able to publish up to 100, make up to 100 publications in international journals. That is one. Liberia has not published in international journals science publications, and therefore they are not even listed. If you go to the UNESCO Science Report 2010, you will see what I'm saying. They don't have publications, science publications. Talk of patents. How many products have they patented that will lead to innovation? Innovation drives the process of entrepreneurship and business and youth empowerment and youth employment. If you don't have research and development, how will you produce innovation? If you don't have innovation, how will you have commercialize it to have industries that will employ people? Liberia was not even listed as having any patent according to the USPO.
Okay, Dr. Topor, I'm going to come back to you, sir. But let me just go back to Dr. Topor. Is it disappointing to you, you being the head of the Science and Technology College? I tend to be corrected, but I think this is the only college, that is responsible to train scientists in Liberia. Do you in any way feel disappointed that a UNESCO report will come, you got no publication, no innovation, nothing, it's mentioned there about Liberia?
Well, the issue here is that we are starting something now.
Okay.
Because when we attended the last conference in Cairo, and I saw that when we went through, because Dr. Ozor is the author, and UNESCO representative was there, and I saw the huge book, and Liberia was not mentioned. I felt there's a need to start something. Once a doctor is able to diagnose the sickness that a patient is sick, and he diagnosed that sickness, at least we can find cure. Yes. We are trying to find the cure now.
50% cure.
and one of the cures is just going to be Honorable Richmond Anderson. Do you feel disappointed, sir? You are from the policy making area.
No, but don't diverse me from academia. I want you to know
I know.
We've been here for the past 16 years. The war met us here. We're still here. But what I want you to understand, and the public to understand, I must commend the two doctors for the initiative. And I want you to also know that we're coming from a situation where the Science College was almost in ruins. You are a witness on this campus. Most of the students were not encouraged. I mean, they were not too, they never had passion for science, for the sciences, because you spend so now 6-7 years in just to earn yourself a degree from the Science College. No chemicals were here, no facilities. So, I mean, those were things that were discouraging the students. But now I can tell you, Science College is not the third largest college on this university campus. That's a stripe. So, apart from Business College, I think it should be the second largest college on the campus now, if I'm not mistaken. That is a good initiative that Topor is undertaking. I must commend the leadership, the administration of the University of Liberia for seeing the need to have this place stabilized and make the various progress that will improve the sciences. So we're going to make sure that the remedy will be sought out. We're going to see they'll be diagnosed, and we're going to see what we all can do. Now, let's not forget, we are moving at a faster pace. Here is an oil industry coming. Everybody talking about oil. Who are going to be the experts? Will 25 Liberians be enough to come and manage the oil industry in Liberia? I said no. We need to even do more investment to that area, even at the University of Liberia. Maybe we can partner with university other within the sub-region, African sub-region, Nigeria, Ghana, and create a curriculum that will be annexed to the science or college. So we can train our people, the young people, to be managed just for the oil industry that are coming. Let's get back to the biology area, the chemistry area. People were discouraged because it was not encouraging. But I can see light at the end of the tunnel.
And there has been this saying always prior to recent years that if you want to do chemistry or biology in Liberia, physics, well, as a young person, you just might end up in a classroom because there are not any industry, available for you to go and work to. I mean, just very few of them, and it can't just absorb everybody. All right, so but it's kind of been challenging though. We're trying to now, Dr. Ozor, let me come back to you. We keep talking about policy, policy, in place for science, innovation, and the rest of it. If you should have a policy in place, somebody listening somewhere might just be confused. What are some of those issues that should be addressed in this policy for science, innovation in Liberia and or any other country, that indeed these things can be on the books, people will see them, okay, this is where we intend to carry this, industry or that other side of the story, so that we have a fruitful result.
Thank you, producer. I think policy is just a guide.
Okay.
It is a statement of action or inaction, because when you keep silent, it is also a policy on certain issues. I'll give you an example. When countries don't talk about biotechnology or GM products, they remain in inaction. It's their own policy.
Their own policy.
So
they do well into that.
So policy is a guide. It is a statement of action or inaction that government use to implement their programs. And when it is now a statement of action, it stipulates what should be done and by who. If you have ever read a policy statement developed by, a good policy statement, a policy brief, for instance, it says the problem, what should be done, and who solves it. It is not government will, who is government. It stipulates directly who is responsible for doing what. What is the role of government in terms of the leaders, policymakers? What will be the role of the scientists here in this policy that we want to establish? What will be the role of the public? What will be the role of the media? So a policy in science and technology will tell us what will be the investment that Liberian government will commit to science, technology, and innovation. What are the sectors involved in science, technology, and innovation, and how will they work together in synergy under a national system of innovation to ensure that there is no duplication of efforts, and what are the expected outputs from each and every activity that this policy says we will do, and what are we going to get out of these outputs? How will it transform the lives of citizens of Liberia? So these are clearly stated, and everybody knows his role, everybody knows what is expected, and it is clear. That is what should be in policy.
So at least they've got the clear understanding as to what a policy is. And the honorable there will just also know the sector, and know who those involved and what their own role can be, so that you have this advancement. Now, Dr. Topor, you again come to the Science College. What are these good initiatives being established by you or undertaken by you and your colleagues? But let's look at the materials, you know, with respect to the people you have studying at the college. Are they up to the task?
Well, of course they are. We don't want to, as an extensionist, we motivate people, you know, to change. You know, I came from agriculture college. I was taken to science college.
Okay.
But being in science college, as Honorable Anderson stated, people never have passion for the sciences because of the long time of being there. But I can tell you, since my 2 years as Dean of Science College, we have managed to drop the number of incompletes because this lab was a problem, you know, moving simultaneously with lecture. So we were able to accomplish that. Lab now move simultaneously with lecture, and the students are getting their grades, and the enrollment have increased by even 200%.
Maybe because of the policy you had. I mean, we are just talking about policy.
Of
You have available, I mean, scholarship all over the place. You have incentives on certain issues, areas, you know, in the college. And so maybe people will just rush in there, not because they have the passion for the field, but because of what they can get from behind that. And as a result, you just might face some problems.
That is true, but the Bible itself says that few all are called, but few are chosen.
So you're just in a few.
And the university has a mechanism where if you are on probation and you can't meet the task, you are expelled from the university. Again, we are trying to put some policy in place because not everybody should be scientists, because people follow peer pressure and want to go into science college. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that we have a gate, you know, like such as the Department of General or College of General Studies, where a student can stay for at least 2 years and pass all of the science courses. Then you can, you know, come into science college. But this policy has not been put into place.
You're still working on that?
Yeah, we're still working on that. Or we give an aptitude test to make sure that you are a science material in order for you to enroll. Now, while we're coming to studio, my guest and I was saying something, and he said, look, one thing you need to do, you could even follow the WIAC results. Those who do well in sciences could be encouraged to do sciences, because, I mean, that gives you a clear picture. If this child can pass WIAC clearly in physics, math, chemistry, and biology, then that means he's good. So please try to look at those things too. So that was a good thing I learned from him while coming to the studio.
Okay, I see that also he's shaking here or nodding here, so maybe he wants to add something to that.
Yeah, I think the framework the college is putting in place will definitely enable them to first of all sensitize the program on STI, on sciences, and encourage people to read sciences. But the interaction I had with some people while here showed that there had been some candidates or prospective candidates. There have been a lot of dropouts or not people not performing well because maybe they have not really been selected through a rigorous process. And that was when I was recommending following the WIAC guidelines to ensure that only those that do have credits in chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, agriculture are enrolled to read science subject. It is not all commerce affair. Everybody must not become a scientist. There are people who will become lawyers and accountants and others, and mass communication or journalists, and that will make things to work properly. And then when they come, one other issue they need to look at very rigorously is the issue of curriculum. The college need to look at their curriculum and ensure that it is of standard, international standard, and that the programs that are run by the college meets international standard in terms of curriculum, the content of what is taught, and again, the quality of who is teaching it. This is very serious because
and I'm sure that is just one of the challenges you face at the Science College.
That is true.
So if a blind man cannot lead a blind man very well,
they might just be heading for trouble.
And from records, you find that about 65% of science teachers in tertiary institutions in Liberia are unqualified. That is a report given by 2010. I don't know whether it has changed now. But 65% are not qualified. Who is qualified to teach science? You need to have a PhD to become a lecturer in the university. You need to have...
At the undergraduate level?
Yeah, once you have a PhD, you should be able to teach at the undergraduate level, you should be able to teach at the master's level, you should be able to pursue to become a professor and then be able to mentor and teach other PhD students. And that is the way to start. So if a higher percentage of people who teach this science are not qualified themselves, how can a snake give birth to a goat?
It's just very possible.
So we first of all need qualified teachers, and it must not be done. I mean, you cannot create. I mean, it's not something that is not achievable. Look for, in the interim, you have to have a plan. In the interim, you can use other capacities existing within Africa. If you don't have in-house, there is a program run by the African, they call it Technical Aid Corps, where some lecturers from different universities are encouraged to go to other universities within Africa and teach for 1 year or 2 years. And you can have that MOU with them and get more science teachers, science lecturers from other parts of Africa, like Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of PhD students. In short, people go about getting PhDs as if it is just
on a graduate program.
Yes, you go to Nigeria, you find people, somebody with 5 master's degrees. You find people with, like myself, I have 2 PhDs, and wow. You can begin to imagine how did this person make it? But this is because of competition. Mm-hmm. So we need to engineer and spur competition within us, and people need to go out. The government or the university authority need to support a program where people, especially master's degree lecturers, are encouraged to go abroad to study and get their PhDs and come back to their country.
Dr. Nicholas Ozor. Okay. Now, back to you, Dr. Topor. I'm sorry. We the thing is, you are particularly responsible for this thing in Liberia, and you just listen to an opportunity there to tap into something. But in addition to that, what are the programs put in place to have qualified instructors or professors coming help the people at the Science College?
Well, just recently we had e-health program in engineering, Center of Excellence for Engineering, and they are sending, as we speak, they are sending 3 students away for civil engineering. So there are plans on the way. Dr. Dennis has been doing well, encouraging people to go and study. Like in Ghana, we'll be sending roughly about 5 students going into do biology and chemistry. So
this is time consuming. The guy is going to stay provided. I mean, it's just has to do with the level. If it is master, it's what, 18 months?
18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
Now I don't know the doctorate degree here, but so when you organize to send students, 18 months they are away. Who's going to fill in the gap?
Oh no! First, these are young graduates.
Okay.
Young graduates we are sending. Most of the people we're sending, 90% of those we're sending abroad are young graduates.
So what is the program in place for your own professors who are teaching already?
Well,
or instructors?
Most of our instructors are already settled. And to get them to move is the issue. To tell you, my man, I have my family, and I'm not willing to go. This has been the issue. So what we are trying to say is that the young guys can go. They have a longer time with they will have a longer time with the university than those that are already in their 50s and 60s.
Okay. Well, Professor, he normally tells me, my man, call me instructor. Instructor Anderson. You've been listening, and these are some of the challenges faced by the people in the science area. What could be done in addition to your own, courage to go and lobby with your colleagues to have something in place for them? What you think can be done to sort of help them get out of this, I call it nightmare?
Well, it must come with passion. It must come with willingness. We have people like, for example, Liberia College. I mean, people are there, spend over 30 years in that college. Some are still acting as TAs. So what we need to do, we must commend the administration of the university. Because it's like if the instructors in the science college are willing to be more, I mean, to accept it, embrace the challenge, it will be a good boost to the college. But where they kind of are complacent, I mean, satisfied with whatever position they have, whatever degree they have, that is not going to solve. Because it's not just having a master's that makes you a good teacher. It must be competitive. Like, for instance, man, I know I'm doing my second master because, like, I feel strongly that one master is just not enough for my status. I must be prepared holistically to be able to face the challenges ahead of time. But now, if I say, well, because I'm a lawmaker, I got a master, let me just be complacent with that, I'll not be encouraging myself.
So I'm sure you even after the second master, you might just venture into doing PhD.
Whatever the case.
Well, Dr. Ozor, you just listened to the dean. Most of the guys, teaching at the college are already settled. They're not willing, to go out to further advance themselves, to come back to help the guys in the college. So your work here might just be very, very difficult because one thing again, somebody want to know: is it anybody who just goes for masters or PhD that can be a teacher?
Thank you, producer. For you to be a properly groomed teacher in the university, the international standard is PhD. You need to have a PhD. In Nigeria, currently, as a matter of policy, universities, because Nigeria has about 120 universities to serve the 160 million people. That is,
you see me laughing because we have just 5 or 6 of them. Also.
Good.
And
so
most of them are private though.
You can begin to imagine my own university where I come from. The population of students at the undergraduate level is about 36,000. That is just undergraduate population at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. And you can begin to, I'm not talking of the postgraduate level. So we can't, as a matter of policy, the National Universities Commission, which is the umbrella body that commands and controls and supervises all the universities in Nigeria, has issued this as a policy that for you to become a lecturer in the university, you have to have a PhD. And then they give a mandate. If you are a serving lecturer, which means if you have a master's or you were just employed as a first degree holder to be a lecturer, if you are just employed, then that policy gives you a specific number of years to get your PhD. If you don't get it within that number of years, they might as well show you the gate out from the university. So as a matter of policy, it's not about who we like and who we don't like. It's not about that somebody is 50 years or 60 years. You need to retool. Academic world is not about using the lecture note you used 10 years ago to teach students in science this year. It is not possible because the area of science is an emerging, it changes day by day. That note you may have used 10 years ago may not work. That information may not work today. If you apply it, it won't work because science is evolving. You understand? So this policy has to be put in place. So one, the current serving teachers need to retool and get their PhDs within a minimum number of years as a matter of policy. Two, any other staff that will be employed from outside need to have this PhD. If you put it in place, people will struggle and get it. Just like Honorable said, it's about passion. Come to Nigeria and say you only need people with PhD. Within 5 years, you'll be struggling. Which of the, is it those that have 1 PhD or 2 PhDs? That is going to be struggling. It's about passion. It's about the drive. We need to have that drive. And knowing that development, especially the issue of science, technology, and innovation development, cannot be achieved from outside. We must have to use our in-house, homegrown scientists if that development is going to be sustainable.
Okay, Dr. Topor, we want to improve the science area or the sciences, however you call it. Now, are you willing or prepared to make this sacrifice with a shortage of instructors at the science college? Are you willing to hold the bulls by the horn? Look, you either go or there is the gate.
One of the things I would like to speak on before addressing your question is this issue of research.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how old you may be, no matter how complacent you are satisfied with where you are, as an instructor or a lecturer, there's a need to get into doing research. And the culture of research is now within our institution. I wanted to make sure that we address this issue as well. Now, coming to your question as to if we are ready.
Yeah, okay, just before you go to the question, so are you now encouraging your people to continue with this research work?
Of
so
course.
that, like Dr. also said, it's an everyday thing. The sciences are evolving. So something you taught last year or maybe 5 years ago might just be completely different from what is coming up today.
Yes.
Okay, so are you...
That's why I'm emphasizing research, because research finding enforces instruction. That's the point. If you are not making research, we always teach the same old notes.
Which, of course, might not even be relevant to... Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, coming to your question, are we prepared? Yes, with the support of Dr. M.L. Dennis, who always say the glass is half filled. I can tell you, with Dr. Dennis' support, sooner or later we'll get a glass filled.
Okay. Having said that,
but
yeah.
again, if I may, it depends again on the policy, because there's an academia.
Yeah.
What are the policies laid down to guide the process? Because now we'll be operating on the same old curricula, time out, time in. You have a charter that or give authority to the University of Liberia. So now, I think the question should be whether administration will be willing or is prepared now to start laying those policies down, because like as the doc said, I mean, there must be a guiding principle. Now, if you go to a science college and say, well, but I give you 2 years from now, if you don't bring your PhD, you're going to be checking the gate.
Somebody's going to ask you, is it part of the policy?
Is it part of the policy? So it must be a policy.
Okay. So, Dr. Topor, you're still working with the science area, and you want to see it improved. Tell me your plan for the science area within the next 5 years.
there are two major challenges I would like to address. One is getting qualified instructors. The second one is a curriculum that meets current day's demand. If I can achieve these two things, I think we'll be promoting STI.
That is it.
Okay. And Honorable Anderson, you have earlier you said you had wanted to go to the science area, but
Right.
apparently something else backed up, and so you had to find yourself in the other side. But I'm sure you still have some passion. You want to see it improved.
Of course.
So how would you want to see it like in 5 years?
Well, in the first place, if we are to improve science in Liberia, we must start from the grade schools, from elementary. Let's create that atmosphere of acceptability. It must be accepted by the students. From kindergarten, junior, elementary to high school, let's get a well-equipped laboratories in the high school, because you cannot talk about chemistry or chemist if you have not seen a barometer. You can't talk about chemistry when you don't even know what they call H2O. You can't talk about chemistry or physics when you don't know anything about the Ohm's law. It must be practicalized, it must be visualized, so that the students who are coming will start to see those things visually, and by the time they get at the University of Liberia with what is being put in process by the administration, they'll be encouraged to. The reason why I didn't do science, I graduated from Peter. I did electronics. It was my passion to do electronics engineering. When I got to the University of Liberia, the electronics lab was discouraging. I could not see myself coming from a well-built lab from high school, then come to a university at that time. The course that I wanted to pursue was not in place. That had discouraged me to go to business college. From business college, I said, no, let me go to laboratory and find myself a job. That I did mass com. So
yes. And you got yourself a job.
Exactly.
Okay, that also maybe you want to say something final before we go.
It is enormous, but I want to summarize with two great calls to the Liberia government and people. My passion from this visit is to see two things happen. One is for the government to consider the establishment of a Ministry of Science and Technology. When they consider that, that ministry will take responsibility in driving all the processes of development through science, technology, and innovation. This has been done by many countries that are leapfrogging development in Africa, including South Africa, and that's why they have launched a lot of, they have satellites, they have a lot of emerging technologies in South Africa. Nigeria, because we have a policy on science and technology, we also have launched satellites in the atmosphere, and you can see developments come. Some other countries in Africa, Uganda, already have these ministries, and you can see the difference. That is one, when they establish this ministry. The second one is a precursor, might even be a precursor to that establishment of the Ministry of Science and Technology, and that will be for the Parliament to produce, to develop a science and technology policy for this country. Because that policy will now give the mandate for the establishment of a Ministry of Science and Technology and stipulate the roles, the roles of the Science and Technology Ministry. And that Science and Technology Ministry will now be able to drive the national system of innovation that connects all other sectors in government to work in synergy to produce development. These are my two recommendations for the government and for the college. Dr. Topor had already said that curriculum and even honorable curriculum change from the grassroots. You need to develop new curriculum or update, have a framework to update it, because the globe is changing all the time, so that you capture new things. And then you get qualified teachers and instructors from giving, especially homegrown ones, or within the sub-region, like Honorable said, to achieve this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. He is Dr. Nicholas Ozor, Senior Research Officer, ATPS Health Office in Nairobi, Kenya. We've been discussing science, technology, and innovation. And of course, it's going to be launched tomorrow. That's Friday. And also here have been Dr. Topor. He is the Dean of Science College at the University of Liberia, and policymaker Honorable Richmond S. Anderson has also been here. We've been discussing activities of the sciences, or people responsible for the sciences also. So we want to say thank you very much. My name is Alfonso George, and you heard it right here on Lux FM. Do have a wonderful day, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.